Hello, today I'm going to show you how I built the little LED logo light. You may have seen it on Bob Blanford's channel, his RJB Woodturner. One of his viewers sent him one in the mail, and that viewer had asked me to make it for him. And I'm going to show you today how I went about making it using my laser. Today's project is not going to be a woodworking project, but it could be. You could make the base out of wood and put LED lights in it if you want. I bought a kit. There'll be a link in the description below. It'll be an affiliate link for the light kit along with the remote. We're going to make using acrylic and a laser. You could very easily do this without a laser with a Dremel tool. Stay tuned and let's see how I go about making this LED light. Alright, in order to cut something on the laser, we have to have a cut file. And to begin this, I want a 4-inch circle. So here in Inkscape, I can just draw me a circle, and then I can tell the software up here that I want this circle to be 4.0 by 4.0. So now I've got a circle that is 4 inches in diameter. And now we need a base to set down into our LED light kit. So a base, so I need a rectangle, and I need that rectangle to be a 1/2 inch wide by 3.1 inches this way. So height, I'm going to go at 0.5, and then the width is 3.1. So now we've got a base that's 3.1 by 5. Okay, and you want to position this to where this part will sit in the base, and then our actual image will be up here on this piece of acrylic. But now we need to align these two, and you can go to Object, Align and Distribute, and over here we can say I want to align it to the biggest object. So I want this one to be aligned to this one. Select them both, and I want to select this align horizontal, so you can see it moved this, so now they're centered. To cut it on the laser, I need for all this to be one cut file. So in other words, we need to make this intersection go away, otherwise it'll cut a circle and it'll cut a square. So we can go to Path Union. So it combined the two, it did away with this middle part, so now when the laser cuts the acrylic, it'll cut this right here. Okay, the second part of this is now we need to bring in my logo. So I'm just going to drag and drop my logo. It'll ask, Inkscape will ask you to embed it, and I just say OK. So here is my logo that I want to put in here. This is a bitmap file. Lasers work best for vector files, so we need to change this to a vector file. It has to do with the pixels. If you enlarge a bitmap, you know how sometimes they get a little pixelated. Well, when you enlarge a vector file, it doesn't. All the lines stay sharp and smooth. So I'm going to convert this bitmap to a vector file in Inkscape, and you can say Path, Trace Bitmap, and then we get this dialog box that asks you how many times you want it to scan for colors and all that. I'm just gonna say update and OK. Now, when it put a vector file on top of the bitmap. So if we pull this down, this is a vector file. That was my original, so we can delete that. Now This image needs to go inside this circle. Remember, we made this 4.0 in diameter. Well, I want this to be 3.7. So I can come in here and put 3.7 by 3.7. And now that can go there. Well, again, we want to center it. So I can go to, we still have this align and distribute over here. Select both objects. I want it to align to the biggest object, and I want it to center it. You saw it ever moves ever so slightly. So there is our cut file. When we go to the laser, we'll tell it to cut the red line, and the black lines it will engrave. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to say File, Save As, and I'm going to save it as just a plain Inkscape file, and we're going to call it LLWW LED file. That is LL Woodworks LED file. Actually, I'm just going to save it to the desktop. And now we're ready to cut it. Alright, here's the bed of our Glowforge. This is the camera on the Glowforge actually gives you an image of the material. I have my medium clear acrylic in. It's a little over 1/8 of an inch thick. And I have that material selected. And the Glowforge has presets on certain materials as far as power, speed, and things of that nature. Now, we go to the dashboard and I say create. We want to upload the file that we built just a moment ago, this cut file. You see it says it's processing our file. Okay. Let's center this up just a little bit. So we see there is our image. But notice over here it has both parts set to cut. Remember I said we want the outline to be cut and we want the information in the middle to be engraved. So we have to change that from cut to engrave. And let's look at the power settings for cut. The power settings are for cut 170 full power, 1 pass. I'm going to change it to 2 passes just to make sure it does cut through, and it's acrylic so it won't burn it. I need to tell it to set focus. The camera will come down and look at the area where we have our image, and it'll determine the height from the laser to the surface, and it'll focus in and set the right height. Okay, now you can see our red is our cut path here, and the purple is the engraved path. So we are ready. Press the print button. It processes it, and in just a minute it'll tell us how long it'll take to cut and engrave this. 17 minutes it says it's going to take, and a lot of that is the engraving. So the image has been sent to the Glowforge. We press the print button, and that initiates the Glowforge. We can take it out, and there is our image. And this has got a protective piece of paper on it that we have to peel off, and and sometimes it's kind of a pain to peel it off. But when you're engraving wood, it kind of keeps it from flashing and burning. So it's not really necessary on the acrylic, but that's how the material comes, so we live with it. I'll finish pulling it off and we'll come back. Okay, there's our finished product. It's time now to put it into our LED base. Well, I hope you found that interesting. You could also use this method to make night lights for your children, for your grandchildren. You could use it to make seasonal little decorations, like a little Christmas tree, or a pumpkin, or Easter egg, four-leaf clover at St. Patrick's Day, and all you have to do is just change out the little inserts. Right now I've got this one behind me that's got my logo on it, but it's very easily could become a night light. Watch. A lot of things you could do with it. Well, hope you enjoyed it. If you got any questions, leave me a comment, send me an email or a message. Be glad to answer them. Thanks a lot. Next week, I think we're going to make a guitar footstool. I've got a good friend that's a guitarist, and he asked me to make him one. Hey, before we sign off, I do want to mention to you that if you're interested in buying a Glowforge, I've got a link in the description below, and it's a discount for anybody that would want to buy one. There's 3 models. It's $100 off the base model, $250 off the middle, and $500 off the Pro, which is what I have. So if you're interested in buying one, you can use the link below and get discounts off of that. And they also throw credits into my account to buy materials with. And it'll help you and it'll help me both. Thanks a lot. Okay, here you can see the look of it as the logo desk lamp, if you will, just to show your logo. You can use that in your office or in your storefront, wherever. And here we have it as a night light, and you can change it to whatever color. Like if your grandchild's favorite color is purple, then there you go. Hey, thanks for watching, and hope to see you next week.